changes. Actually, I take that back. 2016's Doom reboot changed the tried and true idea of a shooter with stellar results. If a down-to-earth, gritty shooter is what you're looking for, keep moving. Doom is all about whatever makes the gameplay the most satisfying, and sometimes that satisfaction hit me in the most unexpected of ways. Probably the most satisfying and thought-out element of Doom is the shooting. The whole experience of sending demons back to hell in this game is unlike any other shooter that I can remember. The weight of each weapon fits perfectly with the heavy metal soundtrack and absolutely brutal aesthetic. id's decision to ditch what are considered modern shooter mechanics absolutely paid off here. They chose to fit the FPS genre around the core game rather than the other way around, which yielded some interesting results. Ammo is your most valuable resource in this game, and somehow was always something I was cautious about, despite never seeing a reload animation. Low health I could deal with, but running out of shotgun shells was a nightmare that sometimes came true and led to my brutal death. However, skill and customizable character upgrades that are unlocked throughout the game slow down the draining of bullets that occurs when you enter a room full of demons without compromising the natural pacing. Weapon wheels are something I typically don't enjoy dealing with. They are usually clunky, immersion breaking, and difficult to navigate with a controller. But in Doom, they are done in a way that benefits the pace of the game. You get your 8 weapons parsed out throughout the story, and constantly switching between them all becomes more and more satisfying once you get a rhythm going. So often do weapon wheels take me out of the action, either stopping the game entirely or keeping the gunfire going, and not giving you time to breathe. Doom's wheel is the perfect balance of keeping you engaged while also slowing things down enough to let you strategize. Big ups to that dang wheel. Love it. Speaking of strategizing, I loved the enemy variety and the way it allows you to deal with each type distinctly. I have a Mancubus on my ass, better pull out that Gauss cannon. Imps giving me trouble? Boom, super, shotgun. It gives enough of a challenge to make shooting things over and over not feel monotonous. The way weapons are handled in general keeps the feeling of repetition at a low. Although I do wish there was a little more weapon variety, meaning I would have liked them to at least dress up the typical assault rifle or rocket launcher, but the weapon mods toss in some spice here and there. Finding the mods around the map as well as upgrading them through various challenges gave me an extra carrot to chase each level. I think the layout of each level also adds to the game's ability to engage players. Although I do wish there were more levels in actual hell, the designers were still able to make each room full of demons feel like its own obstacle. Not only did they make enemy closets fun as hell, the addition of open floor plans and hidden secrets, such as runes that give you new skills for different playstyles, adds some personality to each location, which sets the gameplay apart from a typical shooter. I found myself exploring chambers and landscapes, looking for the next upgrade that was just off the beaten path, which the main objectives funnel you through. Learning, exploring, and upgrading over the dozen or so hours I played led me to a thrilling finale of boss fights that would have been impossible without the experience I gained throughout the rest of the game. The feeling of dread when I encountered gore nests early on faded away as I established more of a rhythm for how to approach each demon. And that's what I feel like this game is all about. Developing a rhythm and going with the flow of the gameplay. The skill curve and difficulty felt very much in line with games like Rock Band and Amplitude. You can make it more difficult if you understand all the tools at your disposal, or you can keep it simple and still have just as much fun. Doom contours itself to fit the skill level of each player. Id put a lot of lore in the background of menus to fill in what the story doesn't necessarily capture. But I personally felt that all was added in order to give me a reason to care about the characters and enemies that have absolutely no dialogue. Brutal visuals paired with the constant guitar riffs set the tone of Doom rather than the narrative beats. And the moment-to-moment gameplay shines due to the ambience of it all. After my ride between Mars and Hell, I felt like id set themselves up with success for Doom Eternal's promise of both story progression and new mechanics. Doom 2016 was a taste of what this legendary studio is going to deliver in 2019, and I cannot wait.